This is the Irish Rally podcast brought to you in association with Tech and Tools, your dedicated tools provider focusing on diagnostic test equipment and specialised tools. Visit techandtools.ie for more information, and SVS Productions. Welcome to some more bonus material here on the Irish Rally podcast in association with Tech and Tools and SVS Productions. We are turning our attention to the JWRC and delighted to say that we have this particular gent joining us here. Mr. William Creighton. How are you getting on, sir?
Not too bad, not too bad. Thanks for having me on.
Look, a pleasure to have you on. It is a little while since we had you on last, but I mean, like, there are no words really to start this conversation. It was just incredible, I think, what you did over the weekend, yourself and Liam. And firstly, I just had to congratulate you. Irish eyes were definitely smiling.
Yeah, it's really good to get the win. Great way to start the year. I suppose the event started well for us, and we had quite a nice lead going into Saturday. And Saturday started quite well, and then obviously Saturday afternoon we lost quite a chunk of time, and the whole thing got a little bit more exciting from there to the finish. So yeah, it's been a crazy finish to the rally, one that I'll not forget for a long time. But as I say, it hasn't really sunk in yet, to be honest. Just really happy for, the whole team involved. It's been a long time coming, I think.
Yeah. So a couple of things for us to start off with, right? I think despite the fact that this is your third year in the JWRC, am I right in saying that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So despite that fact, right, I still believe what you did on the first day raised a lot of eyebrows. As in, I don't know if many people expected that performance, but you were obviously very, very confident beforehand.
I guess there was a lot of pressure going into the first round this year with being the only driver coming back to the championship, and then even the last 2 years that we've been competing in it, the pace is always crazy in the Junior World Championship. You can see, as soon as a lot of the drivers move on from that, they're able to fight right at the top of the next category. So yeah, there was definitely pressure going in. We had a good preparation for the event. We did a small national, a Swedish rally to warm up, and we were able to get back into the way of driving on the studded tire on the snow and the ice. So that was very beneficial. So I think that's why we were able to start the rally then, quickly and get on to a good pace straight away.
I was going to make reference to that because you're literally talking in the space of 7 days. You had, I mean, that was a pretty shrewd move, like, well thought out. Was it hard to squeeze that in, kind of logistics wise? When I say that, I mean more so trying to get the few bob together to do it as well, or obviously you've got good support to try and make it happen.
Yeah, it wasn't actually on the plan, let's say, at the start of the year, but then as soon as Sweden got closer, we just thought that we can't turn up having no preparation in terms of actually driving on those conditions before the event. So of course you get a shakedown on the WRC event, but it's hard to beat doing an actual rally to simulate the conditions the week just before. So it was really the perfect way to set ourselves up. So yeah, we got help to do that. We've been preparing with the Motorsport Rally Academy, and with planning with them, they also thought that it was a good idea to do the warm up event. So yeah, it's a big thanks to everybody involved. And of course, we've been doing a lot of mental training with the academy, which came into good use over the last 24 hours of the rally whenever things got a bit stressful.
Yeah, so take me to that exact moment. You've built up the guts of a minute of a lead, the next thing the bonnet comes up, and maybe a slightly younger Will Creighton, even though you're still a kid, would probably think, well, there's expletives I'd like to use, but I won't. I'm going to try to be courteous for a change. But we all know what we'd be thinking in that moment, right? So you mentioned the mental side of it. Is Alan Healy a part of this then at this moment when you get back into regroup, or did you kind of have that body of work built up that you knew in your own mind, okay, this is a little setback. I've had setbacks before. I know I can come back from them. I know my pace has been good the first 2 days. And now I know the pressure's off as well, because I can just concentrate on making the time up and giving it a lash, because I've lost so much. You know what about it? I'm going to give this a right crack. Is that exactly your line of thinking? And I appreciate I have a lot thrown in with that particular question as well.
Well, it's hard to get away from, the how annoyed obviously I was whenever the bonnet come up, and how frustrating that is whenever you build up such a lead and you're in a comfortable position. But look, it happened. It's a bit easier to look back on it now, now that we got the win. But I think a lot of the preparation with Alan from that side of things before the event was beneficial, and then on the event we have a trainer, Marek, with Sport Poland, who was also very helpful. So I would say that I was confident after we lost a lot of time, that there's still a lot of kilometers left, and that it was still possible. But then going into the next stage on Saturday evening, obviously the screen was cracked. We had to wear goggles. It was dark. Luckily, the lamp pod was still working, so it wasn't an ideal circumstances. But we went into that stage, and I knew that we could still set a good time, and we tried to do that. But we spun coming down into a junction, and to be honest, that was nearly more annoying, because coming out of that, we were, I think, 18 or 19 seconds down, with only one short stage left to go on Saturday night and then into Sunday. So at that stage, I really thought maybe this is just too much now. So I suppose I was actually more annoyed with spinning there, whenever that was the point that we really couldn't afford any more mistakes. But it made the job on Sunday that bit more difficult.
Going into Sunday then, you're looking at a situation where you're 20 odd seconds behind and you've got 3 stages, and all of a sudden, after a big push, that's now down to 6, and obviously there's a giddiness maybe attached to all this, and it doesn't just stop there, because in the heel of the hunt, it's come down to less than a second on the final stage, which has decided this. So there is an awful lot that was going on the last day. Does something like that make it all the more sweeter then when you eventually do become victorious?
Yeah, I definitely think it'll be hard to replicate the feeling on Sunday whenever we knew we had won. Just to get a podium on the junior events last year was, we were even delighted with that. So to go and win, it's just another level of excitement, and then to win the way we did was pretty crazy. Yeah, but I think going in on Sunday, I genuinely thought that we just didn't have enough stages to try and claw back the time, but it didn't change my approach. We still went as hard as we could with we didn't want to go off the road either and lose second place, but it was definitely the mindset to go and try and take as much time back in the first stage to try and make it put a race on for the next 2 stages and put them under a bit of pressure. So it was difficult, but we enjoyed the stage, and Liam and I were actually chatting that I think we would rather go in and do a third pass of the long stage than go into the short city stage, just because it was so tricky and quite rutted, and whereas the other stage it was enjoyable, it was more natural, and we had a good rhythm.
Yeah. On the final stage, like, there's a few shaky moments, and people at home are looking at splits and things, and hearts are in mouths essentially. But one crucial moment that appeared pretty evident in that stage was you going over that jump, and that looked like a particular segment where you may have made some gains. Now, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but it seemed quite apparent that you were giving it full send, as the saying goes there.
Yeah, we got to the first junction on that last stage, and I was a little bit wide, and I knew that maybe I'd drop, don't know, half a second or a second, but I sort of thought that if we were just tidy for the majority of the stage, that we probably wouldn't lose too much time. But it's so difficult to know, and obviously, Lauren, he was going to go as fast as he could. So yeah, it was. I don't think it was a messy stage, but it definitely wasn't perfect. And then coming into the arena section, I didn't know whether we should lift over the jump or what we should do, but yeah, last thing we just stayed flat out, and I think because so many cars had been over it during the rally, they started to dig a bit of a hole in the landing, and it was a pretty uncomfortable landing, and actually pretty lucky not to do any damage to the car. But looking back on it now and seeing the margin that we won by, I'm pretty happy we went as fast as we did over it.
Mm-hmm. And to put this into context, have you only had one previous podium in the JWRC prior to last weekend?
We've had two, so we've had 2 third places, and the first one was in Sweden last year. So I always felt comfortable on the snow, and I think it's the most rewarding surface to drive on whenever you get into a bit of a rhythm and the car's moving a lot about and you're able to use the snowbanks. It's hard to replicate, to be honest, and it's a lot of fun. I think
that's a real sign of progress, Will, because when they have been so few and far between, and you go win one, then it's just like, wow, this guy's really stepped, and I'll actually double this up with a word on Eamonn Kelly, because you're now into that third year. Eamonn's relatively new to the whole scene, and you'd get the impression that in time, I will actually hear from Eamonn later on the programme, in time, he's going to learn massively from last weekend as well, and he's going to push on, and he's going to be really, really competitive. I'm sure that is something that really you can resonate with from your time in the JWRC.
Yeah, it's easy for me to look, at Eamonn's position now, and he's going through exactly what, I and a lot of others have in their first year, and it's difficult to go into that championship and be competitive from the start just because, the guys that you're up against. So yeah, for sure, he's definitely learned a lot, and it's great to have him there. Another local that you can have a bit of crack with throughout the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. So last thing then, just to finish up, I think your what do you call it? Your Navi, is he out and about this weekend up the north? Is he?
Yeah, he's doing the first round of the Northern Irish Championship, and I think to Skoda Estelle. So. Hopefully it'll not be as eventful as the end of Sweden, and it'll be a bit more relaxed for him. But I'll hopefully get up and see a few friends for a bit of crack. But it's been a good weekend, and it'll definitely take a while to sink in. And I have to say thanks to so many people. The preparation for this event starts months ago, and even our previous years in the JWRC, it's always been about trying to build to this level. And from watching the onboards from this year compared to last year, it's a big difference in commitment and the speed that we're driving at. So, it's a big thank you to everyone that's involved, and fingers crossed we can carry on with this momentum.
Well, very well done again. Will we see you anywhere in between these rounds? What's the plan there?
I'm not really sure. We need to sit down now and try and look about the best way to prep for Croatia. Whether that'll maybe be something closer to home, I'd love to, but I'm not sure yet. But hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll have something put together.
Good man. Well, listen, Will, very well done. We're very proud of you, and thanks for having the chat with us here on the Irish Rally Podcast. All right.
Thank you very much.
Staying with the JWRC, Will Creighton and Liam Regan weren't the only duo, of course. In the middle of all that, we had Eamonn Kelly and Conor Moan as well. And thanks to Tommy McCarthy of Mad for Tire Rally, and he supplied us with this little clip before we have a chat with Eamonn. Eamonn, welcome along. You look like you're having some good fun there.
Yeah, it's nice to see me sliding past the Donegal flag and the Ireland flag. It's pretty cool. So seen plenty of them on the stages, and it was definitely spurring us on.
Yeah, For sure. From your point of view, I would say, is it fair to say probably a weekend of ups and downs and maybe a lot of learnings?
Yeah, it was definitely it was such a mixed weekend. I suppose we didn't know what to expect going into it. We just put a massive effort into everything. It was, I suppose, like anything, when you go to an event like this, it's weeks of preparation, and trying to make everything perfect. And to be fair, it paid off in our speed when we went over. We were probably a bit further up than we thought we'd be, and a bit, closer to the pace than we expected, and maybe more so than people expected. But yeah, mixed weekend, because out there it's way more than just being fast. There's a lot of things to take into consideration, and yeah, just a huge challenge and very fine margins. And I found out the hard way that the margins are very, very slim, and such a small mistake and a small lapse of concentration can end very, very costly. And yeah, just one to forget for me, but one to learn from, most importantly, and build on. There's plenty that went well, but also plenty that went wrong. So yeah, it's back to the drawing board now. We're analysing everything and trying to make a plan for Croatia.
The one thing that is kind of after striking me, or has struck me, Eamonn, about you, right, is the fact that you always seem to be the type of guy who can just look at a situation, something has happened, take note of it, and try learn from it, and learn pretty quickly. And something that's kind of confirmed that for me is a little pre-recorded discussion we had, where you said you arrive home on Monday, you've completely parked rallying, you go have a bite to eat, catch up with friends. I think that is a real good attribute to have as a young up-and-coming driver. How do you build that? Are you just kind of naturally that way, or does it come from Papa Bear, or where does it come from?
I don't know. I've always been like that, I guess. Dad's definitely given me good advice on that too. But I think it's very important to, if you have whether it's a good or a bad weekend, just to, even if it's only for 24 hours, just push things aside and, focus on something completely different, and then go back to things with a clear head. It's very easy to get, maybe emotional, or, when you're still just back from an event, there's that little bit of adrenaline still in the situation where you can maybe overreact or start going at things too rashly. And yeah, if you can just reset for 24 hours and then go at things with a clear head and look at something just purely analytically, I think that's the best way to build on it, because whether things go good or bad, you can always break down a situation and find things that can be done better, or things that were done well that you want to try and build into the next event. So yeah, for us now, it's just a matter of really, really building a strong report of the weekend, and looking at the situation, day for day, day by day, and how it went, and see what we can do to overcome the things that maybe made things go wrong. Of course, there's luck involved as well, but you create your own luck. So yeah, we just have to build on it for the next one.
Yeah, there's one big thing here that we should take into consideration, and it's called context, because the amount of seat time you would have had in a setting like Sweden is quite limited. So it's all quite new to you. And while chatting to Will Creighton a little bit earlier, you came up in conversation, and we were chatting about, he's into his third year, so he's got this experience built up, and he knows the crack from when it was his first year as well. So I mean, that's surely got to be a good thing, that you have seen a platform not too far away from you, and right, okay, this is the mark, this is the improvements. I know I can make these. I'm focused on that, because he's gone improving it as well. I'm sure that's very reassuring, is it?
Absolutely, yeah. I think he's proven that if you go at something and you stick to it and you believe in yourself, that the speed will come. We all know Will's fast, and he's gone in 2 years. He's built on it, and look at him now. He's dominating. It more or less dominated the JWRC this weekend. He showed a great sense of resilience, and he was very, very hard to beat. So yeah, absolutely. The thing is, I've learned this weekend that it is not just about speed. There's so many other factors that you have to build on, and that's why coming into a program like the JWRC, it does have to be more than just 1 year. You know, you have to build on each event and really, like I said, analyze what went well and what didn't, so you can take it into the next one. And yeah, over time, you'd like to think with the right amount of work that you can make things right.
Yeah. How helpful has Matt Edwards been? Obviously, you did an event together, and he's known for his incredible advice, his ability to maybe set a car up right as well, which we're going to see pretty soon. He's jumping into Key Lines' car, I think. So, like, how good has he been to you? How good was that event? And how much have you kind of taken from him?
Yeah, he was excellent. Taking him over to the Arctic Rally was a great. I think it was a great thing for me. He just really reinforced the process of, I guess, driving quite consistently and smoothly. We did a bit of work with him last year, so we kind of had a baseline set, and it was more reiterating that, whether we were on snow or gravel, it didn't really matter. We were just building on it, and he was very good to have in the car, because he was consistently reassuring me and consistently reminding me about the process and not to drift away. And you know, when you do that over a weekend, then you can carry that forward into the likes of Sweden. And I was fit to kind of, I don't know, you could have a little Matt Edwards voice in your head saying process, and just whenever you're getting carried away at times, it was good. So yeah, he's excellent, and especially in terms of setup too. He's he shows you how far you can actually go with a setup when you think you've already reached the boundaries. And I've no doubt in the Midlands he'll be a force to be reckoned with. No matter the machinery, he'll definitely make that Fiesta work. So
in terms of JWRC stuff, Croatia's next, but you're also making a bit of an assault on the VRC in the Polo. So yeah, it's quite busy. And another thing I would like to add into that statement is, over the past couple of years, the variety of machinery that you've driven consistently well is remarkable. I mean, how do you go and make that change so quickly and be so comfortable?
I guess it's just trying to ease into it and not put any pressure on yourself, and just enjoy it, really. They're all fantastic cars, and modern, especially the modern machinery. It's very, I think when you come through that pyramid of Rally 4, Rally 3, or that, at least that type of direction, it's usually not too bad jumping up a step. The Rally 2 and R5 cars are super easy to drive. They're not easy to drive on the door handles at 100% fast, but that's something that you have to work towards. So yeah, look, I'm incredibly lucky to be able to go and do the Malcolm Wilson. It's a great opportunity for us for seat time, and some great competition there that will be there, as we've seen. So yeah, we're just really looking forward to putting a big effort into it and trying to get a good rally under us, and just focus on the process of driving well rather than a result.
And we won't rule out an appearance on the Emerald Isle at some stage, but no concrete plans at the minute, you tell me.
Yeah, no concrete plans.
How could you do with all that?
Yeah, that's the thing. There's only so much time, but it's you know yourself. Sometimes, like I said, things crop up and they suit, and it might be beneficial. So we'll see as the year goes on. But as for now, we're not too sure. But who knows? Maybe in the latter end of the year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to all these tip-offs when you do. I don't want to just see you on entry list now. I want a message from Eamonn Kelly, just so you know. We'll have to start paying you for exclusive, insight and stuff like that. So anyway, look, all joking aside, Eamonn, it's been great to chat to you, and the very best luck for the rest of the year. All right.
No bother. Thanks very much, Kevin. Appreciate it.
Now, on the Irish Rally podcast, we turn our attention overseas once more, but a little bit closer to home. And over the weekend, the Riponian Rally was on. And over there was Mr. Ronan O'Neill alongside Adrian Hetherington. Ronan joins us now. How's things, Ronan?
Good, Kevin. How are you?
Sure, look, only flying it, boss. Only flying it. Now, look, being brutally honest about it, with WRC Sweden going on, maybe took a little bit from the Riponian over the weekend, but it certainly didn't take anything away from your achievements. So yourself and Adrian, third, I believe.
I know, yeah, third overall. Listen, good start to the season, good start to the championship, but we'll hopefully continue on and do the whole season. So it's good to get points on the board. This last couple of years we've tried that championship and never had good starts. So I think anybody starting a championship maybe wins, not straight away, but you need to start gathering the points and keeping the thing ticking over.
I think from your point of view, over the last couple of years, you've probably done more stuff over across the pond than at home, or every bit as much anyway, I would guess. And I think COVID is probably a lot to do with that, maybe, but enlighten us.
Yeah, so back in 2017, Adrian done the RAC rally for the first time. And first time, I suppose, in a historic car as well, and he really took it like a duck to water. And in my opinion, a lot of the gravel rallies over in the UK is better than what we offer here in Ireland. So it was just the normal route. Try and do as many of the historic rounds. Once you know one, it was like, this is good. We'll try again and again and again. And yes, I suppose COVID did help it a wee bit too, because it started up in the UK a wee bit sooner in Ireland. So, but no, all brilliant rallies, great mileage, really really enjoyable, good competition. So it was sort of a no-brainer.
From a learning point of view, so you mentioned that you feel it's better over there, the gravel is better over there than it is here. So where are those differences in your opinion, and what could maybe the Irish side of things do to up it a little bit to make it a situation where Ronan O'Neill says the Irish Forest Championship is every bit as good?
Listen, there's nothing wrong with events over here. It's just they have longer stages. We're sort of restricted over here. We haven't got the forests with the distances. Like, there's no problem running. Like, even you could run a 30-mile stage in the forest over in the UK, whereas we just don't have that luxury here. But just everything's really relaxed. You know, you turn up on a Friday afternoon, go through scrutiny, rally Saturday, no drivers briefings. You know, it's just really relaxed, nice, back, boat home. You know, you normally still have a day at home on Sunday at the end of the weekend, so it's really good from that perspective.
Yeah, so you like the flexibility of it, the calmness, the enjoyment of it for you is where it's at, and obviously for Adrian too, seeing as
for sure.
Yeah, so the partnership you have with Adrian, that's going on quite some time, probably the best part of a decade, or coming close to it, I would say anyway. And you had a nice bit of competition done even before Adrian Hetherington probably came along and got you in alongside. So maybe talk to us about that.
I know when I first paired up with Adrian back in 2015, and we had it off really well. And predominantly at the start there was a lot of tarmac events and a modified car, and it's just really progressed from there. I suppose we're quite lucky in the sense that we live not too far apart. So for the likes of going to watch DVDs of forestry events, you know, we can do that during the week and come over for an hour here, whatever. So it works out pretty well from that angle, you know.
He's a driver who many people love to see, whether it's up on the ditches or whether it's in the middle of a forest. A very entertaining driver. We spoke with him last year as well. But he definitely is a fan's favourite. Like, people talk about Frank Kelly, but a lot of people have Adrian Hetherington in the same bracket as well. So what's it like from that point of view when you're the one inside and you're seeing not only ditches or trees maybe?
No, I wouldn't say that. No, look, listen, hey, in fairness,
I don't mean ending up in them. I just mean you're pointing towards them. That's all. Yeah.
No, in fairness to him, no matter what he does, it's 100% commitment. That's just how it is. So it's really, really good from that perspective. But no, you know, yes, he might have a reputation for maybe having a few accidents or what over the years. But listen, everybody's the same. That can happen in this sport. I think we all know that.
I think the entertainment factor is what he's reputation for, more so than the accidents. Okay, yeah, he's had one or two, let's be honest about it, but just I think from an entertainment point of view, when you think of the fans coming to see guys putting on a show, that, you know, that's kind of,
yeah,
you know,
for sure. And as I say, 100% commitment. You know, he always tries to have the best car he can, and everything's prepared as well as he can, and I know all that helps, you know. So you have to, I think, when you're trying to go well at this sport, everything has to be correct. You can't take no shortcuts.
So from your own point of view, Ronan, as we record, it's Tuesday. Were you back in work today, or was it yesterday? And maybe tell us, if you want to only, where are you at it, and what do you actually do?
No, I'm back in work today. I'm in the office today, but as I say, I work in sales, so I'm pretty flexible in that I don't be in the office all the time. So yes, I was back back home yesterday morning, but I stayed at home yesterday, and I can get away with that. So it's good from that side. As long as you're fit to answer the phone, you're okay.
Yeah, that's good to have that relationship and that bit of flexibility as well. It's all important. So for the year ahead, is it a full-on assault then across the pond, or
we'll try and complete all the historic rounds over in the UK. If there's something else that maybe ties in, yes, 5 Mile Town's on now in a week's time. We'll give that a go as well. And again, then I suppose the big game is the RAC at the end of November. So that's you want to do as many of these historic rounds in the UK at the minute as you can.
Yeah, as we all know, the RAC has been pretty kind to you as well. So listen, that's where we leave it on this edition of the Irish Rally Podcast. Bonus episode for you. Plenty more content coming your direction next week as well. We'll be having a look at the first round of the Northern Ireland Rally Championship. Best luck to everyone in Corky this weekend, and also best luck to everyone involved with the Killarney Forestry Rally. Part of our offering next week is a feature on volunteers, and we have a very, very interesting interview with Caroline McGuinness coming your direction. We went through a lot, to and fro, and some good content that you won't want to miss, and it might actually make you think a little bit differently about volunteerism and about marshalling and timekeeping and all that aspect of rallying, the essential parts of rallying, which make the whole thing go ahead. So yeah, plenty to look forward to next week. So do make sure you give us a follow or a subscribe on YouTube, Apple, or on Spotify. It doesn't cost anything to do so. So we do really appreciate that. And if you're on Apple or Spotify, you hit the 5-star ratings. That helps us as well. Shout out to Tech and Tools. Tech and Tools, your dedicated tools provider focused on diagnostic test equipment and specialized tools. You can visit techandtools.ie for more information, and SUS Productions, of course. And if you are interested in backing what we're doing, you can see we've upped the ante, you can see we're busy, and you can see we want to keep providing you with the very best of Irish rallying indeed. So irishrallypodcast@gmail.com, affordable rates, title sponsor still there, still available, and associate sponsor slots also. So make sure you do get in touch, and until next time, take care.